Hello, and welcome to my library, everybody. Let's take the music down a little bit there. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the next Series of Paris live stream. Here we are. Hi to Kupka. Let me know if I'm saying that right. And to Harry and to everybody else. Hello and welcome. Oh, my stars. Well, here we are, another Saturday. I don't usually do them this close together. We usually space them out a little bit more. We did one last week, where we talked all about, whatever nonsense we happen to like, and also had Ray joining us. Oh, Not Animal Tested is here. Hello. And Dago says, hey. Hi, everyone. So we did one last weekend, and then we're doing one this weekend, just a weekend in between. And Tomer's, hello. Yay. Oh, it's so lovely to see everybody. Yay. It warms my heart when everyone pops in. Oh, I read it right. Oh, good. Kupka. Great. And Ivan's here and Bumble. Oh my gosh, there's so many folks. It makes me happy every time I see you say hello. Because I always have this thing of like, well, today's the live stream and nobody's going to come. I'm throwing a party and it's just going to be me in a little cone hat with a little noisemaker slowly unraveling and then falling out of my mouth. Which we could do that too. I don't know. There's no reason we couldn't if you want. But I'm always like, oh, I wonder if anybody's going to come to this one. And so it makes me happy to see you here. Hi. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so we don't usually do so many so close together, but May's going to be a pretty crazy busy month for us. We're going to be traveling a bunch. Imposter syndrome, exactly. Oh my lord. I have a funny story about that relating to cats. No, horses. But I will finish this story first. But now I've forgotten what story I was telling. No, I didn't. We're doing a lot of traveling this month. So next weekend, I'm going to be in Los Angeles for DragCon, which I'm so excited for. We are doing a panel, a D&D, a Dungeons & Dragons panel with Ben de la Creme, Erica Clash, Kitty Powers, and Freya Love at DragCon. It's going to be amazing. They've only given us an hour, really a little bit less, to do an entire D&D adventure. So, that's going to be a panic, but we're going to get through it. We have a little thing, we have an outline planned out for everybody, so I think we're on top of it. And what else? Oh gosh, and then we're going to Chicago for Queens of Adventure in Chicago with Lucy Stool, Foxy Kim, and Joe McQueen with the delightful Destin Diggory as our dice boy. So we're going to be in Chicago 2 weeks after that. It's a lot of stuff. I'm flying to LA. We're driving to Chicago. This is a drive that we do sometimes once a year. Sometimes I just go by myself and fly. But James and I are going to be driving all the way Seattle to Chicago. Usually it's like a 3-ish day trip. So it's always pleasant to be on the road with James. It's something that I'm looking forward to. Sitting next to him and chatting about whatever we happen to be listening to. So that's what May looks like for us, and good gravy. We're also launching the Queens of Adventure podcast very soon, so keep your eyes out for an announcement about that, where we've got our fabulous queens, Freya and Arson and Harlot and Butaline playing D&D. So that's going to be launching quite soon. You can get on the mailing list for announcements about that at dungeondrag.com. So that's that. Then we've got a show in Seattle in June, and we've got another show in San Francisco in July. Phew is what I have to say there. Hi, Pasha, and hello to Raphael. Hello, everyone. Oh, it's so it's so pleasing. I tried to say pleasing and pleasant at the same time. It's so pleasant to see you here. So hi, how has your week been? How is everything going with everybody? What are you watching and what are you excited for? What's your... And Dylan's here. Hello to Dylan. What's your media diet looking like these days? What are you consuming? Also, importantly, what movie should I go see? We're working out some details about me appearing. I'm not going to say too many details because nothing's cast in stone until it happens, but we're working on the details for me being on a podcast where we talk about some movies. It's not my podcast, somebody else's podcast, 401s. So I'm working on the details for that, and I have to go see a movie that is opening next weekend so that I can talk about it with some other movie critics. So what movie that's opening next weekend should I go see? Currently watching this old show from the 70s called Soap, says Karen. Oh my goodness, you don't have to tell me about Soap. Oh Lord. I've done a video, not just about soap, but I did a video elsewhere on my YouTube channel, you can find it, where I talk about sitcoms, how queers were depicted on sitcoms in the 60s, 70s, and 80s? No, I think it was 80s. It might have been 70s and 80s. It was about a year ago, so I don't remember. But anyway, so I talked about Jody on Soap and what an interesting character he is. Yes. Dylan's watching Westworld. Harry wants to know if I'm watching Royal Wedding 2.0 this month. What's the Royal Wedding 2.0? Which royals are wedding themselves? No. Did you see, I can't remember her name, but I think it was like the princess of Sweden, or maybe it wasn't the princess, but it was like one of the crowned heads of Sweden, was on like this press tour where she was just walking in a forest and the press was following her around. She just turned to them and was like, I think I need some time to myself. And she just walked into the bushes and sat down by the edge of a lake, and nobody could bother her for like an hour while she was just sitting and contemplating a lake. Something about it is just like really beautiful and pleasant to me. Anyway, Dylan's watching The Good Fight, and Pasha's been watching Agretsuko. Now, we need to talk about that, because that's the new furry boyfriend show. And I don't have any information about it, and I'm going to need you to fill me in. But I want to get through everybody else's comments. Let's see. Regina's watching. Oh, likes the weekly debriefs. Thank you. I just posted one. It's going live tomorrow. So it's going to go up on my YouTube channel tomorrow. Bumble's been watching Father Brown on Netflix. Lots of murderous lesbians. Really? Wait, what is Father Brown? Laverne and Shirley relaxed me when I was younger. I have a lot of great lessons, says Belzebub Wawa. Laverne, I don't think I've ever seen Laverne and Shirley. I always used to confuse it with Cagney and Lacey, which there's a crossover that needs to happen. But yeah, I think I've only seen the theme song for Laverne and Shirley, because it's like one of the best theme songs ever written. What is your favorite theme song? That's a question for everybody. What's your favorite theme song? Of course, mine is Down to Earth. Just the most platonic ideal of a dumb 80s premise sitcom. What else do we have here? Meghan Markle and Harry, are they getting married next month? I didn't realize that. Or this month. Oh, for some reason I thought they were already married. Didn't they have a baby? Maybe I'm thinking of some other royal person. All the crowned heads look the same to me. Harry says from Suits. Wait. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle from Suits? What are they from? Tomer says, I think I guess what podcast. This is very exciting. Yes, hopefully. But I don't want to say it's happening until it happens, because these things have a way of like, there was another podcast that was going to be on that we had to postpone. So I told like one person that I was going to be on this podcast, and then the producer was like, oh, sorry, she can't do it. And so we had to postpone. But it will happen in the future, where we will all spend the rest of our lives. Father Brown is Miss Marple, but he's an Anglican priest. Okay. So it's sort of Miss Marple plus Cadfile? ITV Marple series had a lot of murdering lesbians. I think it's just a thing. Really? Now, I did see the murder. Yeah, the murder cracked. The mirror cracked. No. It was A Murder Is Announced that had some lesbians in it, but they weren't murderous. They were just murder, and spoiler alert. Oh, Kubka loves the Steven Universe opening. It is so good. I love the extended one where they're like running on the beach. It's so sweet. It's like young Steven playing the guitar. Oh, something very cute about a child playing the guitar that I think it's really precious when, like a kid who's like 7 can play the guitar. I think that's lovely. Westworld music is so creepy, says Dylan. I've never seen Westworld either. Is Westworld good, or is it just atmospheric? In the same way that like, what's the joke from Kimmy Schmidt? Where it's like, is Gwyneth Paltrow a good actress, or is she just tall? I don't think it was Gwyneth Paltrow, but anyway. A Quiet Place seems cool and concept is unique, says Ophelia. So A Quiet Place, like, I'm having trouble keeping straight, like, A Quiet Place and The Good Life and The Good Wife and The Good Man. There's, like, a whole bunch of series that are, like, The Good Something, right? Dago watched a series called Fiertés, French series, following a gay guy through the years with the evolution of LGBT rights in France. Oh my goodness, I have to see this. Fiertés. What does Fiertés mean in French? Does it mean flirties? No. Yes, that would be such a terrible name for a show. Flirties. Although possibly a good name for a gay bar, like a small town gay bar called Flirties. Fiertés. Gay FM called Jonathan says murder lesbians are good. I mean, sometimes they can be. There are, like, here's what I want. I don't know what the show would be, but I want Claudia Black to play a lesbian assassin. I don't know what the premise is. I don't know where it's set. I don't know what the show's about. I just want Claudia Black to be an assassin who, like, kills bad guys, and, like, that's her job. Oh, Meghan Markle was on Suits. Oh, okay. Meghan Markle was on Suits. I don't think I know what Suits is. Because in my brain, I'm like calling up what that show was, and what's coming up is a claymation show about playing cards, and I think that's something that I just made up and put in my brain as a memory, like a Manchurian Candidate. Like, I think I just Manchurian Candidated myself. Her race has been a bit of a scandal, says Dylan. Oh my, okay. Well, I mean, it always does seem to be. Westworld is amazing, says Ophelia, and Wurget4. Oh, what is that username? With respect, going to for RB5T4WES. How did you get that username, and what are you doing to my reading comprehension? Dylan says 200 million spent on the series premiere. Good gravy. Okay, but I mean, 200 million does not make a show good. There's a lot of things that millions of dollars have been spent on that are not good. Good Wife and Good Fight are related. A Good Place is unrelated. Okay, now that is confusing. And A Quiet Place is a horror movie. Look up A Very English Scandal starring Hugh Grant and Ben Whishaw about the leader of a political party and his gay bit on the side. Ooh, that does sound like a very English scandal. A Very English Scandal. What have we been watching? Oh, we've been watching a lot of Critical Role. We're getting caught up on season 3? Season 2 of Critical Role, which has been a lot of fun. I get why people like Matt Mercer, because he's a very fun DM. Not sure about the hair, but I like him as a DM. You think of The Good Place, very good, waiting patiently for the next season, says Tover. Okay. Fiertes reminds me of an Italian web series about a pair of gay boys falling in love. That sounds good. Favorite opening is Poyo Poyo. My favorite closing is Woozer's hand-to-mouth life. I don't know any of this. Poyo Poyo. Wait, do I know that? That sounds familiar to me, but hand-to-mouth life is not. Just watched a trailer for The Butt Detective, a Japanese animated series about a man who solves mysteries and his face is a butt. That's what it is, and it's got a very cute trailer, if you find that on the internets. Karen says, Claudia Black, I loved her Farscape. I know, she's so good. I once sat next to Claudia Black at a barbecue. This was almost 20 years ago, and I don't remember anything about it other than that she got coleslaw but didn't eat it. That's my memory of sitting next to Claudia Black. I was working for the Henson Company at the time, and she was on Farscape, which the Henson Company was producing. And there was a barbecue because Kermit the Frog just got his star on the Walk of Fame. And so we all went to a barbecue together, and she was there. It was a strange time. Suits is like The Good Wife, but filmed in Canada. So wait, it's like Good Wife, Canadian Good Wife? The Good Canadian Wife? Ophelia says, A Quiet Place. Oh, it was a horror movie where the monster's triggered by sound. I didn't know it was directed by John Krasinski from The Office. I just knew he was in it. And he casted actual deaf actors to play deaf characters. Well, that makes me glad. I think that is very, very good. I've been watching a bunch of cool stuff with my boyfriend, says Chanel, but he dumped me a week ago, so it's kind of tainted. Oh, no. Oh, no, that's the worst. Well, here's what you can do is... Time sometimes is required for this, but reclaiming the things that you loved with someone with whom you have a complicated memories now, it is possible to claim them and make them your own and find the new things that you love about them, but also, like, ooh, the pain of that. I know how it feels, and what a bummer. But also, it's a good opportunity to find some new stuff. And we have so many, oh my goodness, recommendations in here. I need to finish catching up on Critical Role at some point. There's so much of it. It's not tested on animals. I know. Like, on one hand, I'm tempted to, like, maybe I should just watch this at double speed so I can get through it faster. And then I'm like, there's no way I'd be able to follow this at double speed. There's so much happening. But also not, because it does take them a long time to do stuff. But still, at double speed, I would miss so much. Dylan says, Westworld has a very good story. Hopkins is... Oh, that's right. Anthony Hopkins. Not Hopkins from Animal Crossing. Hopkins is my friend in Animal Crossing. He's a rabbit. But we're talking about Anthony Hopkins. Nerdwriter 1 is a YouTube video analyzing his performance. Okay, well, I mean, I'm not shocked that Anthony Hopkins is good. And I'm interested because I'm familiar with the old Westworld, the original movie that it's based on from the 70s, which is dumb. But a good show. I'm always looking for a good show. It's on HBO, right? I think we have HBO now. Even though I still don't know how to watch television. We got a box in the mail that has television in it. It's the thing that you're supposed to hook up to the TV, and I haven't even touched it, because I'm like, we have too many cables in our life as it is. I don't need to start connecting more things to each other. Jonathan says, Critical Role is fun, gayer than last season, thankfully. Good. We're only on episode 3 so far. It hasn't been super gay, but there have been some nice, just some innocent flirtations, and, There was at some point somebody said husband or wife asking about somebody's partner, and that was just nice. Westworld is Brian Sorkin, produced by the Lens Flare Lost dude. Oh, Lens Flare Lost. Yes, my favorite director, Lens Flare Lost. Puyo Puyo is about a round cat. Oh, that sounds really good. Puyo Puyo. I like a round cat. Woozer's hand-to-mouth life is about a pervy alien rabbit. What? Oh, Krylo, these sound amazing. Woozers. And I still haven't asked you guys yet about Agritsuko. Hand-to-mouth life. Because I know I need to know about it. I don't know anything about it. Suits is set in America. The opening DD Fist of the North Star is good too. Also anime. Wait, opening to DD Fist of the North Star. Oh, Krylo. Fist of the... They all sound like code names for spies. Also anime. Time is required. Yes, THYME is required. Shen says, thanks, man. Oh, I hope you feel better and I hope you find some new good stuff. London Spies, a romance between an MI6 code genius and an ordinary man hit by tragedy. Ugh, tragedy. Oof. London Spy. Okay. I don't know why. I just have kind of like spies on my... London Spy. I just have spies on my mind for some reason right now. I don't know why, but I've been thinking about spies a lot lately. Westworld. Thandie Newton is great in Westworld. Matthew Park says, hi, Matt. I had to pull over when I saw the tweet about the live stream. Yay, pull into Panera Bread because I forgot about it. Thank God I have my iPad with me. Yay. Oh, I'm so glad you're joining us from a Panera. Well, have a delicious soup or something for us. Let us know what kind of sandwich you're having. I'm so glad you're here. And for heaven's sake, if there's somewhere that you have to be, don't let us take your afternoon away from you. But I'm glad you're here. Critical Role works like baseball, where there's lots of downtime, but the moments where things actually happen can happen quick, and you can easily miss important things. That is so true. Yes. Because I'll like glance away for a moment, and I'll be like, wait, who did that? What was that attack? Why is there a body there now? After like 2 hours of, let's walk around the lake one more time. Yes. We have not met Gilmore yet, so no spoilers, please. But I like the name. Westworld is good acting, says Dylan. Good story, good production. Lots of questions, few answers. It's Lost. Like Lost, is its major... Oh, lots of questions, like Lost. Its major drawback. I mean, if they add up to something, I'm fine with that. Like the first season of The X-Files, I love. I think it's one of the best seasons of any TV show on television ever produced. It is such a coherent piece of work with such a satisfying conclusion that is also not quite a conclusion because it leaves open the door to more things, obviously. But that first season of X-Files sets up so many questions, answers the right amount of them, and leaves more questions unanswered. I love it. Anyway, how did you trick me to talk about the X-Files? So I don't mind questions as long as they add up to something, unlike Lost, which added up to meh. Ophelia says, I don't know if you're into dystopian shows, but 3% is streaming on Netflix. Very diverse. Season 2, there's a trans character. Her arc doesn't revolve around a gender, and she doesn't die in the end. Oh, well, good gravy. What a unicorn. 3% streaming on Netflix, huh? 3% on Netflix. I'm always so lost with Netflix shows because there's so many, and it always recommends ones to me that I know I'm not going to like. So I always have this feeling of like, oh, I just don't like Netflix shows, even though I think it's just because it's recommending the wrong ones to me. Katie 1S was recommended 3%. Oh, and Gaelflin called Jonathan and asked if we watched season 1 of Critical Role. We did not, so we're jumping into season 2. At the start of season 2, so we're not totally lost, but there's a little bit that we're like, oh, who are these people? Oh, you're having a steak and white cheddar panini. That sounds really good. Oh, James, I'm hungry for steak and white cheddar panini now. Could you make that for me right now? No, he's shaking his head. Well, Matthew Park, you'll have to mail it to me. Just mail me a steak and white cheddar panini from your Panera Bread. What was I about to say? For some reason, did you guys see that somebody, I don't know why this came up. I don't know if somebody asked him or if he just brought it up out of nowhere, but Mitt Romney said that his favorite meat is hot dogs and his second favorite meat is hamburgers, which is so like, what are you talking about? Your favorite meat is hot dogs? Anyway, this is neither here nor there. Item 46 on the gay agenda is keeping Christine Baranski's career alive. Therefore, we must watch The Good Fight. I mean, she doesn't need our help, obviously, but she is marvelous. I'm happy to be her fan. DD is important, by the way, says Krylo. DD Fist of the North Star, because it parodies, the series 80s anime Fist of the North Star. Oh my goodness. This is complicated. This is getting complicated. Is Christine Baranski appearing in Mamma Mia 2? That's a good question. Huh. Tomer says, London Spy is well made, but I couldn't finish it. So depressing. Oh no, I can't do depressing. I mean, I could. I could do depressing. I could do depressing, but I also need a palate cleanser. I need something nice. Dylan says, Nailed on Netflix is good fluff when you turn on off and laugh. Here's the thing. I tried Nailed It because I thought I was going to like it, and I really didn't. What I didn't like about it is that it wasn't like they weren't helping each other, and it was just like laughing at people for things they couldn't be expected to do. I want a Great British Bake Off where they're helping each other and learning and getting better at things. But I just didn't like how mean Nailed It was. I wanted them to be like, let me help you with that. And I wanted the like message of the show to be like, the things that seem impossible to achieve in life, when we work together, we can make them happen. Like, that's what I wanted the show to be. And like halfway through, it's like, oh, it's not going to be that. Sorry, I lost my place in the chat. I know it's slightly off topic, says Kubica, due to delay in streaming, and in fact, chat is important at your streams. I think next time you should start including it on screen so we know where you are in the chat. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. I'm always very behind because like everything you guys say, I want to comment on. And so like I'm slipping further and further behind in the chat. Oh my goodness. Funny of funny, says Katie1S, I've been headhunted hard by Bain Capital. What? Okay. Well, congratulations on being wanted. It's nice to be asked for. What did James say?
Oh, they have hot dogs.
They have hot dogs, says James. Fascinating. Are you going to do it? Are you going to go work for Bain Capital? They are quite evil, right? Or maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. But my association, maybe it's just the word Bane right in the title. My favorite meat is hot dogs. My second is hamburgers. The literal whitest thing I've ever heard in my life, says Jonathan. Kitty1 says, my favorite meat is likely chicken or pork. We've been having really good vegan, like, fake meats lately. Because here's the thing is the chicken, I don't know if this is happening everywhere to all you guys, but, like, chicken has gotten really bad. There's this problem happening right now with the way that chickens are bred, where it's really chewy and gross. So I've stopped buying quite so much meat, and we're getting, like, vegan stuff now, and we've had some really good, like, there are these nut-based tacos that are quite excellent. And the Quorn, Qorn, based chicken nuggets are, like, I like them a lot. So, hooray for good food that doesn't involve cruelty to animals. I've also asked, any thought on Pasolini? No, actually. Wait, tell me a Pasolini film. I don't know if I've ever seen any. That can't be right. I must have, but I can't think of any. Ivanata says, wait to see My Brother's Husband live-action TV series based on Gengoro Tagami's LGBT-themed family manga. It's coming live-action TV series. I've heard of the comic, but I didn't know it was coming to a television near me. Carlos says, I thought about auditioning for Nailed It, but I'm a hot mess when it comes to baking. I'm no pro, but I'm not bad. Oh, you're not a hot mess. I don't know. I kind of want to, like, somebody to go on as a ringer and be like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then it turns out they're, like, a super professional chef. Kitty1 says, tuna, salmon, or swordfish. Well, you're just like, that's all the meats. Dago says, frog legs are the best. I've never had frog legs. Are they actually good? I don't know. Oh, Dylan recommends MasterChef Kids. Chef Ramsay is super nice and sweet and kind of helpful. I think it'd be perfect for you. That actually does sound perfect. The only thing I don't like about children is when they sing. And I don't think they're going to sing on a chef show. Like, the sound of children singing is just nails on a chalkboard to me. It's why Hard Knock Life... the song Hard Knock Life and Annie, I just can't. And also Tomorrow. Anyway, Kitty1 says, I cannot tolerate vegan stuff. I always felt the same way. I always was like, this stuff tastes like dirt. But we're lucky enough to find a few things that were like, this doesn't taste like meat, but it tastes good. Especially like with the nut tacos, if you put cheese on them, of course, and so I guess they're not vegan. But then, like, I always get a, what is that thing called? An avocado. One of these things. I get an avocado whenever I get them so I can, like, make guacamole and, like, dip them in the guacamole. So really, the nut taco is a guacamole delivery device. Kupka gets chicken from the family on the countryside. Well, that's good. Yeah, our factory chicken in the U.S. is quite bad right now. Kitty1 says, the vegan thing because of health issues or from moral superiority issues? Honestly, it's because I just don't like how chicken feels. Like, I don't know what happened, but in the last 2 years, this thing, it's called woody breast. And for some reason, the last 2 years, you can look it up, like this woody breast problem that's affecting all of American chicken. Like, some chicken is just really disgusting. It's called woody breast because it really feels like you're chewing particle board. It's terrible. And so that's why we're not getting it. And it also feels good for like moral reasons. Like, it's just nice to know that I'm not hurting an animal with every meal. I think, I don't personally believe that like going vegan is going to solve the problem of like the cruelty inherent in the factory farming system. But like, there's only so much one person can do, and one person's impact is going to be negligible to non-existent. So there has to be like larger societal change in order to affect, like morally what is done to animals. But I feel better about it. And also the health. I guess the health too. Health is good. Although I don't really worry about like meat being that dangerous to eat. I don't know. Is meat bad? This is a dumb question. Is meat bad for you? I know some meat obviously is super fatty and not so great to have like on a regular basis. And like processed meats can be bad, but like just eating a chicken breast, is that bad for you? I guess hormones. Micah says, watching this while getting ready for prom in a few hours. Oh, Micah, congratulations on prom. Wow, that's very exciting. Hooray. Is there a prom themed? Dylan says, Black Mirror. My God, Black Mirror, Black Museum is written by Penn Jillette. Ooh. Black Mirror, too troubling for me to watch by myself. I could probably watch it with somebody, but I watched 2 episodes by myself. I watched the first 2 by myself, and I was like, I'm too upset now to go on. Ophelia says, I saw someone told David Duchovny that he has a lesbian aura, and he laughed and said, I like that. I don't know why. This is cute and funny to me. Does he have a lesbian aura? I guess. I mean, I'm willing to see it if somebody wants to make that case. Oprazine says, Cheka here, just finishing up a live stream of my own. We'll join you in 15 to 20 minutes. Hooray! Good to see you, Oprazine. Oh my God, I'm like racing through the chat right now because I'm so far behind. Black Museum is by far the best episode of the entire Black Mirror series. Ooh. Kitty Winna says, I'm an omnivore. I mean, we basically are too. Test on Animal says, that's the only thing you don't like about children? Well, I do think they're unreasonable sometimes. Katie Winna says, I like other people's... Yes, I like other people's kids because you can send them home with their parents. Yeah, I like being the gay uncle. I like looking after a kid for a little while. I like taking them to do something fun and then being like, here you go, and getting them out of my hair. Crowley says, I don't like children, period. Ask James about my comments about the God of War child. Oh, you're not into the boy? You're not into boy, the boy? Dylan says, a master chef, a kid will be crying, and Ramsay hugs them and comforts them and shows them how simple and quick it is to fix. Oh, that's really nice. I like that a lot. That is something that everyone needs to see. Things go wrong, everyone makes mistakes, and then you can fix them. What was that making? Oh, he is a dad, right? Gordon Ramsay has a kid of his own. Dylan says, sausages are conduit for applesauce. Yeah, sure. I mean, sausages are just good. If you like... Oh, Tomer says, I really like corn. If you get Tival over there, is my favorite brand of fake meat. I don't think we do. That's not familiar to me. But is vegan chicken called Quicken? I mean, I would love that. Quicken chicken. My brother's husband has already been broadcast in Japan, now waiting until a Netflix or something will broadcast it. Sounds good. Pasha says, don't eat chicken breasts. Thighs have remained Oh, there you go. It's the breasts that are the problem. The thighs are still good. That's not a bad idea. I mean, I'm just so used to... I like chicken breasts because I can slice them thin and put them in panko and like put them in the pan, fry them up, and we have nice breaded chicken. I just have to learn how to butcher thighs. I'd have to learn how to butcher a new cut of meat, and I'm lazy and I don't want to learn that. Katie Winna says, if you look at chicken... Oh, yeah. If you look at chicken from the 50s to now, plus its preparation, chicken shouldn't be cooked to 150, to 170. Go to 150. Yeah. It has changed. Chicken's changed a lot in the last couple decades. Dylan says, butts are delicious and perfect for eating. Sure, that's true. Katie Winna says, I'm anxiously awaiting lab-grown meat. Would that satisfy moral issues? I think so. In fact, we got that. We got the... what's the name of it? It's called, like... natural meat or so? Oh, gosh. It's showing me an ad for A Quiet Place right now. It just took away the classical music and showed me an ad for A Quiet Place. Like, it knows what we've been talking about. That's troubling. James, what's the name of that fake meat that we got? Do you remember? What's it called? The meaty medley? It's not made of anything animal. It's made in a lab. But supposedly the magic thing about it is that it, like, retains water so that when you bite into it, it's juicy like you expect meat to be. And it was good. It was fine. But it was, like, 3 times the price of getting just, like, ground beef. So, I mean... I'm not going to do that. Pasha says, some rabbis have declared that lab-grown pork is kosher. Also except for lab-grown meat. Kitty Winna says, our gut has evolved to process meat and fat is necessary too. Sugar, on the other hand, is really bad for us. And you have a nephew spoiled rotten. Oh, that's good. I like that. We don't have any friends here in Seattle who have kids, but I'm going to LA next weekend to see our friend Liz, who's got 2 kids. No, 4 kids now. Gosh, 4. Can you believe it? You remember when Liz was just a single lady living the high life? No, of course you don't, because you don't know who Liz is. But that's our Liz. That's all I have to say about that. Micah says the prom theme is Enchanted Evenings. There's a chance that we prom prince. Oh my goodness. Well, good luck, Micah. We'll all vote for you. Dylan says in British Columbia, a high school had a high school banned a girl from prom? Not had a bad girl at prom? Banned a girl from prom because she missed too many classes. She's disabled. Oh, it means she can't make college and her joints dislocate at any moment. Oh, Lord. So that is terrible. Who's the person who's like, oh, I see. You have accessibility needs that are different from everybody else. Well, in that case, you can't come to the prom. Matthew says, Micah gets my vote for prom prince. Good. Well, you are the prince of this prom. The prom of the chat. We have elected Micah the prince of prom chat. Of chat prom? Chat prom. That's what we're having. I wonder if lab-grown veal cooked in cow's milk would fly? Oh, I can... What? I don't understand that at all. Kenny Wynette says, I can butcher a chicken. Here's the thing. I can butcher a bird up to the point of, like, getting the leg... Like, and then... I get the thighs off, and the thighs and the drumsticks, and then I just, like, stuff it into my face and eat it, and, like, an animal scrape my teeth around the bones. Like, I don't know how to actually properly butcher a thigh to get the bones out and the meat and still have it be, like, raw meat that's cooked. Did you ever watch a Jamie Oliver thing about what they used to put in chicken nuggets? Oh, yes, it is yuck. Katie Winnes says, we've dabbled in vegan fare, most of it not to our taste. Yeah. Fake meat that bleeds. Oh, it's a $15 burger at Umami. It's too much. Too much. Yeah, we tried a vegan burger replacement that was good, says Katie Wyness, but $4, just not worth it. I know, I feel the same way. I want to eat meat-free meat, but it's so expensive. The steak panini was covered in horseradish. I hope no one tries to make out with me, says Matthew Park. Oh, no. Okay, that is a powerful panini. Let's see. I can debone a chicken or turkey, says Katie Winnes. Okay, that's what I need to learn, I guess. Oh, gosh. The music has gotten very, very fancy for deboning a chicken. All right, let me turn this down just a little bit. It's too much. Okay. Just buy boneless thighs, says Lazy Cook. I know, but I'm trying to save money. Those are expensive. Not expensive. It's a luxury boneless thighs. But, I'm trying to save money, not spend more. I want the cheap meat. That's what James remembers, I think, when I was in LA and I was always get the cheap meat. Do you remember that time in my life? I did not have a lot of money. I mean, I still don't have a lot of money. I've never had a lot of money. But there was a time when I had to go to the store that had meat that was, like, maybe not safe to eat. And I'd just get, like, the weirdest cuts of meat that was, like, all the leftover stuff. It wasn't a good time. Dylan says, I like Jamie Oliver better when he was the naked chef. He's fine. Only people with money can afford... Yes. Gosh, not animal tested. That is so true. Only people with money can afford principles. Must be nice. Dylan says, Eve Mince is a pretty good and cheap replacement. What is Eve's Mince? Eve Mince? Any thoughts on adding London to your travel itinerary, says Harry? I would love that. That would be great. I mean, we just got to make it worth our while, which means, like, in order to make travel for the shows effective, we've got to be able to do a bunch of shows. And it's tough with Queens of Adventure because you can't do the same show twice with the same cast, which is going to be a big challenge for us in July in San Francisco, because we're going 2 shows in San Francisco, and that means we have to write 2 completely separate shows. Yikes! Dylan says, I like when Oliver shuts up. I don't like his opinions. Oh, well, all right. But I would love to go to London. If I can find a way to pay for it. That's the challenge. If I can find a way to pay for going to London, I'd love to. I need to go bye, says Kupka. Well, thank you for joining. Lovely to see you. Matthew says, back to what I asked earlier. Anyone else having fantasies about Dad Bod David Harbour from Stranger Things? Well, I guess naturally, of course. Dylan says, pressure cooker makes everything great. I'll tell you who I liked in Stranger Things, and I'll try to do this without spoilers, although it's probably been a long time, and I don't really need to be that word. But the chef, who's in, like, episode 2 of the first season of Stranger Things, what a little heartthrob. America's Test Kitchen is great. They have lots of tips for making cheap meat good. That is the first place that I learned how to cook chicken properly. Because I was making some real bad chicken when I first became a homemaker and was making dinners. And I was like, okay, I know there's a way to cook a chicken breast, but when I put it in the pan, it burns. When I put it in the oven, it's rubbery. What do I do? And so America's Test Kitchen is what taught me. Yes. What was I saying? Anyway. Yes, America's Test Kitchen. Benny was the chef. Wait, Benny was the chef from ST? Oh, yes, Benny was the chef from Stranger Things. Benny. That's it. Harry says you could go to the gay hotspots in the UK, London, Brighton, Bristol, Manchester, and then come to Dorset because travel to London for me is expensive. I mean, that sounds great. I'd love to do like a tour with Queens of Adventure. Just like we could do the same show, but with different queens in every different city. London, Brighton, Bristol, Manchester. I mean, that is tempting. If we can figure out how to make that work, I would love to. There's a lot of logistics involved in all this stuff, like managing ticket sales and casting the queens and preparing characters for them and writing the adventure and getting from one place to the next and also getting our equipment from one. Because we have to bring like these weird music stands because they need to have a music stand and a microphone and a tray. And we can't put like 5 different stands in front of them because it gets a little crowded. Anywhere Matt is the gay hotspot, says Dylan. It's true. It's true. I'm sitting in a gay hotspot right now. 3 things if you want to master cooking, says Katie1S. Sous vide stick, infrared, and instant thermometers. I don't know. I've never had any of those things. And I feel like I do an okay job. James, do I do an okay job with the cooking? He shrugged. Do you want to say something nice about my cooking now? He says, nom nom. I'm gonna make you a crabby apple. That's when you wrap an apple in crab meat and deep fry it. Not a real thing. It's something James made up, and I'm troubled by it. Knowing the temperature is key. I mean, I think yes, knowing the temperature is important. I don't cook things that are so complicated that I can't kind of interpret the temperature. Like, I can tell when something is done by poking at it. When the chicken is in the pan, I can poke it and I know, okay, when it's this soft, it's raw. When it's this soft, it's done. Also from just like the sound of the meat and just like the time, the temperature, and what it smells like, I can usually tell when something's ready to come out. Sous vide lets you control temp. Thermometers tell you when the meat is cooked. There's more ways than just sous vide to control temperature, says Pasha. Yeah, I think just like keeping an eye on it. When you don't need to blast the heat, low heat works too. Yeah, I mean, that was an important lesson for me because I always used to turn everything right all the way up because I'm like, oh, well, you want it to be as hot as possible so it cooks fast. It's not how it works. Not at all. What are your other favorite cooking shows, you guys? Obviously, Test Kitchen. America's Next Test Cushion. Test Kitchen, delightful. Although, I've never really been a big fan of, what's his name? Chris Kimball? Was that the name of the guy who was on it? Forgot his name. Anyway, that guy. I like the 2 women who were the chefs on it better. And naturally, Bake Off. Just the most magical show on earth. Although, what a bummer that the cast is kind of scattered a bit. Has the new show with Mary Berry and Sue and Mel, has that premiered yet? Does that exist yet? Because I know that they were going to make a thing. I know they were doing, they replaced almost everybody, and got, what's his name? Richmond from the IT crowd to be one of the hosts. And Sandy, nope, not Sandy Duncan, Sandy Toksvig to be the other host. And I'm not really, I mean, I think they're great, but I just like them and Paul Hollywood. I don't really need in my life. So have they made the show with the core cast of Bake Off? Pasha says, I used to like this one local show that my dad and I nicknamed Spousal Abuse Kitchen. Oh God, a pair of local cooks who always disagreed about how to make things. Oh no. Oh no, that sounds awful. But also kind of funny. There's a fake show like that called, Delicious Dish is the name of it. It's a British show from maybe 10, 15 years ago. Fake cooking show about this wealthy couple who don't get along well. The wife doesn't really know what she's doing, and the husband is just contemptuous, and also clearly having an affair with a tennis instructor. It's super fun. It was hilarious. Okay, and they're always arguing with each other on the show. She'll and she tries to be so posh and fancy with stuff and say the name of everything with an accent. At one point she said, and remember to get the proper risotto rice. And the husband's like, rice. Rice is an English word. You could just say rice. I like watching Cupcake Gemma on YouTube. What's Cupcake Gemma? That sounds cute. I like that. Just reviewing. Okay, here are the recommendations so far, you guys, that you've given me. Oh, and then we're going to talk about Agritsuko. Fietes, A Very English Scandal, Poyo Poyo, Woozer's Hand-to-Mouth Life, Dee Dee Fist of the North Star, London Spy, and 3% are some of your recommendations so far. Okay, now we have to talk about the new furry boyfriend. What is the deal with the hyena on that show? What is the show? What's the deal with the hyena? Why is everybody obsessed with him? What's going on? I feel like this is one of those internet phenomenons that happened and I missed it, and now everybody knows about it, and I'm just baffled. Pasha says, it was so great. You should sweat the onions. Yes, that's right, but it's okay if they brown. No, it's not, John. Sweating means they don't brown. Oh, that sounds tense. Yikes. I don't watch much cooking shows, says Not Elmontis, but if you want a cooking show, I can recommend The Catering Show. And Cupcake Jen makes different cupcakes and cakes and lovely treats, and she shows you how. Oh, well, I like that. Read Rick Riordan's books. Again, for the recommendation for Rick Riordan, he's always coming up on the streams. Pasha says, the hyena on Agritsuko, I have no idea. I've seen nothing about this on the internet. Really? Because I'm getting nothing but on furry Twitter right now. It's all like fan art of that guy, and everybody like drawing him in different situations and different stages of undress, and how obsessed they are, and then having like a very Tumblr fight about how there are other characters on the show who the focus should be on, and it's inappropriate to steal the focus for this other character. So yeah, it seems like everybody's obsessed with this guy, but maybe that's just my timeline. Katie Wyness says, another food channel I love is Food Wishes. That sounds cute. Food Wishes. Food Wishes. I'm sorry, I'm just like saying it over and over because it sounds like magical. Food Wishes. If food wishes were horses. Parody Cooking Show on YouTube, you suck at cooking. I don't want like, I just can't deal with like mean, aggressive like cooking show or anything. Like when it's like competitive, I can only take Bake Off because they're like helping each other in the competition. But when it's like somebody has to be like doing badly and made to feel bad, I just can't take it. Anyone says, Foo Wishes. Well, I like Foo Wishes better. Carlos says, I have yet to get to Agritsuko, but it looks awesome. And Pasha Washa wants recommendations for furry Twitter. Oh gosh, I don't know. Who should I like? I can't think of any like specific furries that I recommend. Like I'll follow somebody if they're doing like lovely art or if they say something funny. But I can't think of anybody specific that I recommend. Let's see if I just open Twitter. Is there somebody who's doing something wonderful and furry? I mean, there was definitely that big fuss the last 2 days about like there's some legislator in Arizona who objected to teachers getting paid a living wage. And some, like, furry chimed in to, like, say something stern to her. And she argued back, and then suddenly furry Twitter was piling on. And so it was a pleasure to see some terrible person getting ganged up on by furries. Matthew Park says, the last real cooking show I made time for was Top Chef in its infancy. Oh, it's been a long time since I watched Top Chef. No, wait. I'm thinking of... What's the Japanese show that was, like, all the rage? Bite My Onion? What was the name of it? Master Chef? Was it Master Chef? No, it was Iron Chef. Iron Chef, not Bite My Onion. Pasha says, like, you're full of regret about this topic. I'm not. I'm just full of lost memories. Wait, let me see. I'm just scrolling through my Twitters to see, like, are there any furries who pop up for me? Oh, well, I guess, like, one person who's good to follow is Mitch, a.k.a. Hyper Orc. He's got a complicated username right now, and I don't know that he's a furry, but he's deeply into orcs. So HXOVAX is his screen name, which is not helpful. Mitch Alexander is his name. I think he lives in Scotland, but Mitch Alexander does some lovely stuff with orcs. It's not exactly furry, but close enough. Katie Winnes says, no bigger fest as Oklahoma and Kansas, trying to prevent LGBT people from adopting. I mean, the silver lining on that is that there were over 100 anti-LGBT bills in the last legislative session, and only 2 seem like they might pass. So a huge failure for enemies of equality this year, which is great. But very frustrating that those bills are passing that would restrict the number of people who can adopt. It sucks. Catcher says, I can't read right now because my fingertips are numb. Oh no. Sorry, why are your fingertips numb? I hope that, is it cold or did something happen? Did you like bang your hand? Oh no. Well, I hope you can read. I'm glad you're here. Katie 1S says, I do recall one episode on Cupcake Wars where the vegan cupcake was widely panned. Oh dear. One is signed, but I can see that, yes, I can see the courts killing a lot. Me too. A lot of that is going to depend on what the Supreme Court does in the next few weeks with the cake case. I really hope we can stop talking about gay wedding cake soon. So the Supreme Court's going to rule in the next few weeks on the cake case. I think it's the Masterpiece case from Colorado. And then that's either going to like doom us to like 5 more years of arguing about gay cakes, or it's going to be like settled and resolved. I wouldn't bet on anything being settled and resolved because people love to fight. All right. Okay. I'm scrolling. I'm looking through my Twitter timeline for furries, and I don't see any, for heaven's sake. Yeah, it's just like, I mean, there's lots of nice folks. Here's somebody who made a puppet out of banana, but it's not furry. Yeah, sorry, I'm looking for like furry recommendations, but I don't see any. Oh, here we go. Nope. Nope. Yeah, gosh, you'd think for all I talk about him that they'd be everywhere for me, but I just don't see him. Oh, well, here we go. Here's one named Tiller. Oh, and this is perfect because he's just tweeting about the best part of my 30s is not apologizing for being furry anymore. And his screen name is _THP, and he's tweeted some screen grabs about how nice it is to be furry. So there you go. Follow Tiller, I suppose. I don't really know him, but Chicago queer improviser, comedian, actor, and dog bear. Midwest Fur Fest HR director. Well, that sounds nice. Maybe I should invite him to our Queens of Adventure show that we're doing in Chicago. Katie 1S says, at last not cold here, finally, near 100 the other day, and it's a comfy 74. Well, that seems good. Pasha says, the only gay wedding cake I like talking about is the one we had. What was your gay wedding cake like? Describe your cake to me in great detail. Katra says, I don't know why, and it's killing me because I can't read or write. Oh, no. Well, that is a worry. Huh. Wonder why, like, is it all of your fingertips? And is it, like, your toes, too? Like, that's really awful. Matthew says, has anyone made plans to see the upcoming Ruth Bader Ginsburg documentary? What is that? Tell me more about that. Oh, my goodness. I want, like, a mockumentary about her where it's all about her, like, hip-hop career or something. But I'm delighted to see a Ruth Bader Ginsburg documentary. She has had an amazing life. She has done, like, even before she was on the Supreme Court, she did so much important work for the ACLU and for women's, like, equality and getting rid of terrible laws and advocating for equal access to the workplace. She is just such a hero. Katie 1S says, the thing about the Colorado bakery, look, you're a small business. One thing should matter is the little green piece of paper we call money. I mean, on one hand, I respect that a person has principles. On the other hand, if those principles are hypocritical or insincere, or your principles are hurting and excluding people, that I don't respect so much. I mean, good for you for standing up for what you believe in, but hey, maybe what you believe in is terrible. Crow says, what's the best part of your 30s? I mean, that kind of gets to it, like what that furry was saying about not apologizing for furry anymore. Like, being less apologetic about... I mean, here's the thing. When I lived in San Francisco, we had a landlord named Gordon who was in his 40s, which just seemed impossibly old to me at the time. And one thing he said was that as he got older, like in quotes, older, like 40s is that old, one thing that he appreciated was not feeling like he needed to make time for people he didn't want to hang out with. And that is something that I do appreciate. If there's somebody that is like, we should hang out, me being like, not being rude, like, no, it's not going to happen. I don't like you. Not that. But being like, oh, things are just real busy with me right now. And like an easy excuse and not feeling bad about not hanging out with people I don't want to hang out with. That feels nice. Katie Winna says, I'm a different kind of furry. Even my last name translates as furrier. Really? Oprazine says, I used to date a furrier. Pasha says, our gay wedding cake was 3 layers of 3 different kinds of chocolate cake because chocolate was the only thing we could agree on. But even then, we couldn't agree on what kind. Oh, that's marvelous. You guys are making me real hungry. I will say, this stream has made me very hungry. I ate specifically before the stream. I had an apple, and I had some crackers, and I had some snacks right before the stream because I was like, I don't want to be hungry on camera because, I get spacey and weird. And yet, you guys have made me very hungry again. So clearly I did not eat enough. I'm getting a little, I'm noticing that, like, in the last few months, I'm certainly, like, I'm not complaining about this, but I haven't had time to go to the gym. I've been eating well. Not, like, a lot, but, like, just a healthy amount. And because sometimes I didn't used to eat as much as I needed to a lot, so I've been eating better and not going to the gym, and I feel like I'm getting a little soft, just a tiny bit, but like 5 pounds. But I'm like, oh, I've gained a little bit of weight for the first time in my life. That's interesting. I'm about to be 30, says Pasha, so I'm ready for info about the 30s. Let's see, what are things to know about the 30s? Well, I mean, your body will change. What else? Things about the 30s. Do what you like. I guess that's my advice for the 30s. I mean, that is also the time of life when people start having, like, contemplating, like, where am I in life and what am I to do with myself, and making life changes. I mean, there's no reason that you have to do that in your 30s, but often that's the time when people will start doing that. And then 40s is the crisis. So, 30s is a good time to be like, what are my goals? What do I want to do? Katie Winna says, wait till you get to your 50s. I was just reading, somebody was like, I think it was on Twitter. They were like, by the time we get to resting homes, like by the time like our generation is old enough to be in retirement homes, all the like bridge and mahjong is going to be replaced with D&D. And so therefore I can't wait to be old and living in a resting home. Which, okay, maybe that's not the reality of life when you're that age, but I mean, that doesn't sound terrible. Like a resting home where you just play D&D? Okay. RBG Doc has already been released as Matthew Park. Oh, okay. Where is it? Like, is it in theaters or is it on Netflix or where is it? Katie Winna says, we become more discerning about friends as we age. I think that's true. That seems accurate. Just my fingertips. I had to take the SAT today, says Katra. I have my bio final on Monday. I have AP Government on Thursday. Oh my gosh, that's a lot. Whew. Katra, do you have anything planned, like, to relax after all that testing? Like, do you have any, like, just kick back and relax and do something fun planned for yourself? Dylan says, at what age do you stop feeling bad about others not wanting to hang out with you? I mean, I'm trying to think of, like, an accurate answer to that question. I think it is always kind of a bummer when someone's like, no, sorry, I'm busy. Like, you want to hang out with them and they just don't make time for you. That is a bummer. I guess, like, there's not a specific age maybe, but, there can be a time when you're like, am I doing something that makes people not want to hang out with me? And is that something that I'm willing to change, or is that something that I want to stand by? Carlos says, bring forth a ramekin of food stuff. Ooh, I would accept a ramekin of food stuff, James.
I don't get you.
Yeah? Okay, he's quacking at me, so I think something's on its way. Ivan Edis says, Home Queer Cooking. Home Queer Cooking on YouTube is a heartfelt, diverse cooking series. Oh my god, I need to look this up right now. Home Queer Cooking. Home Queer Cooking. I love homemaking, like gay homemaking stuff. Like when it's like a gay couple on a homestead or lesbians running a farm or like a commune, like a queer commune where they're all like making jam. I love that stuff. Oprazine says, now having attempted to stream, I've gained admiration for you on top of the veneration I already feel. Oh, thank you. Oprazine, tell me, Cheka, tell me more about your stream. What were you streaming? What were you doing? Where were you streaming? Were you on Twitch? Tell everybody where they can find your streams and other projects. Katie Winna says, my 30s were the best time of my life. Although I gotta say my 50s are even better. Well, that's good to hear. Katra says, well, I was gonna be reading and writing, but now that's out. Oh, man. Oh, well, how long's it been going on, Katra? I hope that clears up. I wonder what it could be. Do you think it's like, I don't know, maybe like carpal tunnel? Because I know like you do a lot with your hands, obviously. So maybe it's just like a pinched nerve or something. But if it's in both hands, that's very strange. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, so I can't give you advice. You guys, I went to Uncle Ike's yesterday to get... Oh, Jesus. So James brought me a ramekin. Ta-da! It's a ramekin of little peanut butter pretzel things. But I thought it was raw meat for a second. Oprazine says, I'm YouTube, the archive today. What? You mean you were streaming on YouTube, the archive? Is the archive like your YouTube name? So I got these because I like them, but I got the unsalted ones thinking like, well, that's maybe a little bit healthier. Like, you're not supposed to minimize the amount of sodium in your diet, right? James says, eh. If you have high blood pressure, he says, I think my blood pressure's good. I went for a yearly, like, the wellness exam a year ago, and I can't remember what it was, but I remember them being like, that's good. So, okay. I really miss having salt on these. Oprazine's name on YouTube is Oprazine, and the show's called Parterre Saturday Afternoon. Well, that sounds really nice. Is it like just an opera chat? Yes, this is good. This is what I needed. I needed a snack. And then when I get off the stream, I'll probably make a more complete meal. I'll make a complete breakfast for me and James. The idea of the show is in the place of the live opera broadcast every Saturday afternoon from the Metropolitan Opera. That's such a good idea. That's great. So do you, like, play some opera and talk about it? And more importantly, do you describe everybody's dresses? Because that was a big part of this broadcast, right? Like, the narrator, essentially, there would be a narrator telling everybody what the opera singers are wearing. I'll chat, do interviews, play archival live opera performances. That sounds great. And Ravenna Bonet says, breakfast at 3? Yes. That's one of the good things about being an adult. You can eat whatever meal you want at whatever time you want. Aww. We had tacos last night at midnight. James, can I have some breakfast lemonade? No, actually. Nope, lemonade is good. I was about to ask for it because we've got orange juice in there. I was about to ask for orange juice, but I think the orange juice and peanut butter wouldn't be good. Karen says, do you know any good lesbian shows that you discovered recently, old and new? Discovered recently. I will say, so Cameron Esposito's show, Take My Wife, I think was the title, that she did with Rhea Butcher. So I haven't seen it yet, but Cameron Esposito tweeted about how important it was for them to show a same-sex couple, a lesbian couple, just in love and being affectionate on that show. And she just tweeted a whole bunch of like animated GIFs of her and Rhea like kissing and like hugging. And it was so nice. It's just so nice that was a show. Here's a couple having a relationship, being nice and supportive. And here you go, queer kids. This is what a good life can look like. Ravenna Benet says, who's that singing? Sound like Manny Patinkin. It's Manny Patinkin. He's making a fish face at me. It's weird. I don't like when you do the new face. No! James does this thing where he's like, this is my new face. And he'll make a face at me, and I don't like it. I like his old face. Oh, Krylo says, time to lemonade like Beyonce. Yep, I just need a baseball bat. Oprazine says, if you look at the archive of today's show, you will see you'll see, as I just realized, that I do a sort of unintentional imitation of Matt. Oh, sort of like the scene of Matt 30 years in the future. Yes. Where we'll spend the rest of our lives. Karen says, that sounds great. I'm gonna look that up. I don't know where it is. It was on like one of those weird comedy networks that disappeared. Like, is it on Verve or what was the one that went away? It was the one that the McElroy show was on. Oh well. CISO, that was it. And then it went away. So all the comedians who were on that were like, oh well, I guess we just weren't very funny. Oh well. But they were. It was just like a bad business. Anyway, East Yeast is here. Say my name. Is that how you start a conversation? Ravenna Benet says he have to sing for... Oh, he wants you to sing. Or they want you to sing. I love what I heard. James, what will you do for your next number?
What would I do for?
Yeah? Would you sing I'm Blue?
I'm here to bring the purple mattress blows memory foam.
Oh, wait, no. The purple memory foam is shouting at me now. Okay. But you're too far away, James. Your fans can't hear you.
I'm blue, da boo dee da boo da, da boo dee da boo da, da boo dee da boo da.
There he is. I'm sure that's wonderful for you guys to hear, but I've been hearing that there's like 2 bars of music for the last week, just nonstop. James has been singing that non-effing stop. Crow says, what is the future? The 1950s promised us flying cars, full meals in pill form, and jetpacks. Well, I mean, here we go. I've got a full meal right here in kind of a pill form. These look like pills. They look like pillows, really. Little tiny pillows. They're dirty pillows. Ravenna Benet gave you 3 hearts, James. Catcher says, it's been going on, the numbness, for about a week. I might work on some painting or jewelry projects while binging on your and Markiplier's videos. Oh, that's nice. I'm in good company there. Dylan says, does a body-positive queer show exist? So there is Where the Bears Are. I don't love it, but it's a show that does have bears. And Matthew Park wants to know, Krylo, if you are Ohioan, you're Californian of the southern kind. Oh, fiddle-de-dee. Nope, that's not the accent of Southern California. Let me think. I'm trying to think of, like, a show that has diverse body types and is queer. Because it's very tempting to do, like, conventionally attractive on every show. Yeah, the web series Where the Bears Are is the only one that comes to mind. Of course, there's also, like, the bear movies that I can't remember the name of. It's not Bear City. Is it Bear City? John says, what is wrong with Where the Bears Are? I didn't laugh. Maybe it's not my kind of comedy. I knew it was funny, but, like, none of the jokes landed for me. So, it just didn't really work for me. Sadly. But, I mean, I love that they made it. I love that they did it. I love that there's some sexy bears running around with their tops off. So that's a delight. Dylan says, so Dylan's question, does a body-positive queer show exist? I mean, I guess that's just kind of my life. I go to a lot of body-positive events. If you look at my Twitter and my Instagram, you'll see some pics from the Mr. Nude Cascadia party that I shot, not party, show, that I shot a few days ago on Thursday. Various body types in that show, although I think they were all male-bodied, but still some lovely folks just stripping down and showing off their skin. I'm going to Fetish Night tonight, and there are lots of different bodies there. That's at CC's, so you can keep an eye on my Twitter and Instagram for pictures from Fetish Night. They were talking, like the guys who do the rope bondage demos there, invited me to participate in one of the demos to like get tied up and hoisted into the air. I don't know if that's going to happen. We'll see. My costumes for Fetish Night vary. Sometimes I'll go in like my underwear, and sometimes it'll just be like I'm dressed right now. It's just like a black t-shirt. It depends on how I'm feeling. Oh, you thought the handle was a play on Ohio. Oh, Krylo. Oh my god, they're in their 7th year, really? Where the Bears Are is in their 7th year, and Okra says, it makes me cringe. I tried to watch for a whole season. Yeah, I really wanted to like it. I really wanted to be like Bear Murder, She Wrote. But I just didn't laugh. Ugh. Oh, your name comes from the raid group saying, oh, Krylo. That was the derp of the group. Oh, Krylo. I love the game Wondrous Life of Caleb Gallo. It's on YouTube. Yes, that is good. Not a lot of different, like... I mean, if you want something that, like, has different body types, I'm not sure that there's a lot of that on there. Oh, James is giving me the little hands on the hip stance. He's a good-looking man. That James. He's keeping himself hidden. But he's giving me a little bouncy dance right now, and I like it. Oh, now he's doing like a little hip shimmy. I like that. Keep doing it. Keep shaking those shoulders. Yeah, Game Wondrous Life of Caleb Gallo. Really good. I highly recommend that. It's so fun. It's the thing that that's the show that had the line, sometimes things that are expensive are worse. It's real good. Where the Bears Are is written by the Golden Girls writers? No, it's not. No, it's not. Is it? No, it's not. That seems incorrect, because there weren't any gay people on the Golden Girls staff for a long time. And then I think Mark Cherry was the first. I may be wrong about that, about him being the first. But there were not a lot of queer people on the Golden Girls staff. Freckle is the best. It is. Check it out. Really? Huh. So where's the beef? Where's the jokes? I don't know. Maybe I'm misjudging. But I watched that first season. I was like, I just don't love it. Does it get funnier? James has just grabbed a bunch of D&D stuff from me. It was on the table here, so I think he's working on projects right now.
Bathtub.
Oh, he's gonna go take a bath. He's sitting in a bathtub. Ooh, and purr. When I'm in the mood for a bath, that's what I order. Have we talked about this, you guys? Have we talked about the, nope. I was about to call her Gloria Steinem. That is not who that is. It is an actual person, but it is not her. What's her name? James, the woman in the meat commercial. Borley.
She's best known for.
Yeah, it's her finest role. No, it's the woman who's famous for saying, you put your lips together and blow. She was a film star, golden age of Hollywood film star. Then she did a bunch of weird commercials for meat. Borble calls. Bird calls. Girdle bird call. Lauren Bacall, not Girdle bird call. But that's close. I know, yes, Lauren Bacall again. There's certain names that I just forget. I always forget. Bernadette Peters is another one. I remembered at that time because I have a device now. My way for remembering Bernadette Peters is I think about the character that Terrence Stamp played in Priscilla. That character's name was Bernadette, and that gets me to Bernadette Peters. But I can't remember Bernadette Peters' name if I just try to think of Bernadette Peters. I don't know why. Hair Purnell's back. Beans on Toast was calling me. Oh, that sounds good. Rick Kopp wrote for Golden Girls, says John Matthews. Huh. Katra says, I've been working on a story with a blind gay guy who's not traditionally attractive, who goes around killing Kentucky gods and monsters. Katra, that sounds amazing. I would love to read that when you're ready for people to look at it. Wow, that sounds really interesting. Dylan says, I think it's a shame that the gay community is less enjoyable if you're unconventionally attractive. Well, okay, that's complicated. And everybody's very enthusiastic about Lauren Bacall's high spot. It's not high spot, it's high point, but still, yes. She says, it's a commercial for beef. And she's like lounging very comfortably in this chair with like luxury items around her. And she says, "When I'm in the mood for a burger, that's what I order. If it's not on the menu, I tell the waiter, improvise. Then I purr." And then the voice of a disembodied man. And then there's a picture of a hamburger. And this disembodied voice says, "I'm in the mood for some real food." And the title on the screen says, "Beef, real food for Lauren Bacall." Which sounds like veterinary advice. Like, what should I feed my Lauren Bacall? Well, you'll want to feed her real food. And aubergine, yes. Oh, that coffee commercial. You think coffee and sleep don't mix? They do if it's High Point. You see, High Point has a way of capturing flavor. Deep brewed flavor. It's so good. It's so good. She's acting the fuck out of that coffee. Anyway. Okay, so Dylan, what you're saying about the gay community being less enjoyable if you're unconventionally attractive. I would like to dispute that. But also, I can't fully. But first, I'm going to eat this pocket of peanut butter. Here's what I'd say about that. There are different ways to enjoy the gay community. You can enjoy being a muscle hunk who goes to the woo parties and takes off your shirt and jiggles your tits. If that's what you enjoy, you can do that, go for it, enjoy it. But you have to be one of those muscle hunks, which means dedicating your life to going to the gym and eating brown rice and chicken. And no, it's brown rice and vegetables. And waxing everything and being obsessed with your body. That doesn't seem enjoyable to me. So, in that way, being conventionally attractive seems like a way to not enjoy the gay community. I mean, it's all about what do you enjoy? What would you enjoy doing with your gay community? And there are different ways to enjoy it. Like here in Seattle, for example, there's the XL Bears. They are, I would say, unconventionally attractive. And they have lots of fun events where they have like, they just had a beard party where everybody like got to try different beard oils and rub different oils in their beards and chest hair. They do a pool party where they like, it's a bunch of big guys in the pool. They're doing something with the Sisters. Oh, they're doing like a swimsuit competition with the Sisters of Perpetual Intelligence where it's a bunch of like big guys wearing bathing suits now that the weather's nice. So there are ways to enjoy the gay community if you have, if you're a different size, if you're self-conscious about your body, if you have accessibility needs. There are people who you can enjoy that with. I will say, it is harder to do it sometimes than if you're like, you know, Murray the model and you're gorgeous. You can probably insinuate yourself into different activities with greater ease than if you are not a conventional model body. And it's something that I can't really talk about with that much expertise because I am aware that I have a lot of privilege in just the physical meat sack that I live in. That gives me certain advantages that other people don't. And so I don't want to be like the expert who's like, oh, just be proud of your body, whatever you look like, speaking from a position of privilege where I like don't have any firsthand knowledge of difficulties. So yeah, I get it. It's frustrating and I can't tell you like, oh, just believe in yourself and all your problems will be solved, because that's not true. But there is enjoyment to be had out there. And that's all I can say. The Wonderful Bill Fair does a parody of the Bacall High Point commercial. Oh, the one where yes, she's in the limo on the way to the theater. Oh, God. Racing for an 8 a.m. curtain. I always say 8 a.m. It's 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. Whatever. Racing for a 7 p.m. curtain means giving up a lot of things, but coffee isn't one of them. She gets into a limo with a giant, like, craft services coffee carafe. Like, she's going to be, like, feeding an entire, like, battalion of Teamsters out of her limo. It's real good. Oh, sorry. I'm chewing so much. Oh, I meant Celtic, says Katra. Oh, so wait, not Kentucky? Did you mean Celtic instead of Kentucky? Because either one of those would be great. Like, someone who fights Celtic monsters or someone who fights Kentucky monsters. Either way, I'm on board. Main weapons are D&D dice that turn into spikes. Oh, this is so good. And a slate and styles that turns into a change with a, I think you may be like giving us some typos in the chat because I'm not totally following. What came out was, it says a slate and styles that turns into a change with a weight and blade on the ends. I'm not sure what you mean by that or what that could have been. Oh, that's her Flintstones name? Is Lauren Birdcall? Really? Oh, boy. Did she do her own voice? Did she actually appear on the Flintstones? Matthew wants my opinion on the British film God's Own Country. Haven't seen it yet, but it's on the list. I'm going to write it here because everyone's been talking about it, and I don't want to forget that I need to see that movie. Ivan says, I think the LGBTI community is about being unconventionally attractive. I mean, at its best, I agree with you. I don't think that is always the case. Like, you can definitely have some really rotten experiences with people who are unpleasant about what they believe bodies are supposed to be. Cody Belcher, who was my guest on one of these streams, I think maybe 2 streams ago, his first experience when he moved to Chicago was he went to a gay bar. His first like gay bar experience. He went to a gay bar and someone at the gay bar just like looks him up and down, like right when he arrives, standing at the bar, and said something like, "You're too fat to be here," which is like depresses me on so many levels because like what is going on in that person's life that's what they're saying to people? How many people have they said something like that to who've been really wounded? Like, the whole thing is just, like, such a bummer. Anyway, so, thankfully, Cody was, like, annoyed by that, but it didn't, like, destroy him. But, you know, it's just something to keep in mind that, like, sometimes people will just be horrible when you do not expect them to be, for no reason. Well, for no reason that's apparent to you. And for reasons that are known only to them. Blech. Matthew Park says, being in the Midwest, Columbus, I've noticed that our community becomes rather compartmentalized. Interesting. Yeah, I think that's the case everywhere, but I think it happens differently in large cities and small cities and rural areas. It's definitely like, in some places, when the queer community is small, everyone just hangs out together, so it's like, you know, the lipstick lesbians and the dainty daddies and the bears and the cubs and the twinks and the jocks, like, all have to hang out in one place because there's just not enough of them to be too compartmentalized. I meant sleep and stylus and clean. Turns into a sleep and stylus? That turns into a... I'm still not sure what that means. Sleep and stylus and clean? Matthew Park says, as sober man, 17 months, congratulations. That's almost a year and a half. You're so close to a year and a half. I find that our community is still rather bar-based. Yes, that makes being part of it difficult. I agree. It is a huge, huge problem. It's something that I really dislike. Opera Rosine says, I think brown rice and vegetables is if you're trying to get Crystal Connor's job as a star of the review. Yeah, so we just watched that scene. I used to love Doggy Chow. It's such a dumb scene. Oh my god, it's such a dumb scene. So we just watched that scene from Showgirls yesterday. So brown rice and vegetables is on my mind. Dylan says, if someone said I was too fat, I'd leave. I mean, honestly, that's not a bad impulse because if, like, it's the kind of bar where someone feels comfortable saying that, it's probably a shitty bar. Go to a bar where people are cool to each other. And Cryo says, I'm not in the bar scene either. I have to be because of my work. Like, I just have to go to bars, like, several times a week because of my work. But, I'm trying to think of the last time I had a drink at a bar, like alcohol drink at a bar. It's been a long time. I had a little wine like last week because I was making pasta sauce and I put some red wine in the pasta sauce and then I had a sip of the red wine. But like a sip. I've basically cut alcohol out altogether because like I just don't like how I feel when I'm drunk. I just don't like it. Pot, on the other hand, has like completely taken its place. That was what I was going to tell the story. Like I've been smoking before bed to help me sleep, and it's been fine, but like I know it's not good for my throat because I like had a cough for a long time, and I think the smoke of like smoking weed is like bad for my cough. So I've switched over to the liquid stuff that you put under your tongue, and I don't know if it's having an effect. Like it definitely, I got sleepy last night, but I just don't know. But anyway, so this is all to say, like, I'll go to the bars, I'll take pictures of the bars, and when people are like, can I get you a drink? Honestly, it's nice to say I don't drink. Like it feels like I feel good saying that directly and being direct about like, I just don't drink. And not because like I need to not drink, it's just I don't want to drink. Let's see. Body stuff of the queer community, says Pasha, is weird in my experience. I've been ignored for being fat, but I've only been harassed, abused for being pause. Really? It's so frustrating to me, like what people want to have fights about and how people want to create difference with other people. That's really lame. But I guess, it's a signal when people are being like that. It's a signal to be like, this isn't the place to be. Go someplace where people are good. John says, London has a huge bear community. That's exciting. Oh, when I was in London last summer, I heard about this thing called Bearlesque. That was like a burlesque being done by bears. Is that a thing, or was that like a joke, or was it real? Because I mean, I would love to see bear burlesque. That's kind of what I photographed the other night at the Nude Cascadia show. It was very cute. So lovely guys. They were supposed to have 7 performers, and 3 got shy and like it ran away, and so they only had 4 people on stage. But still, 4 is good. And because it was at a coffee shop that serves alcohol, they had to do the first bit of the show, the talent portion, the swimsuit portion, and then they had to go around and collect everybody's drink because you can't have drinking and nudity at the same time. So the bar had to, the coffee shop had to go around and grab everybody's drink, so there's no alcohol in the place, and then everyone could take their clothes off. Not everyone. The performers could take their clothes off. Matthew Park says, is anybody looking forward to the movie book club with Jane, Diane, Candace, and Mary? I want to know more about that, please. Is it Candace Bergen, Mary Steenburgen, Diane Lane, and Jane Krakowski? Or like Jane, oh no, I've forgotten her last name. Help. Jane Fonda. Because that would be great. What is that about? Oh, that's the one where they're reading 50 Shades of Grey, right? To see women over 50 in a sex comedy sounds fun as fuck, says Matthew Park. Yes, that does sound good. Yes, and Pause. Oh, yeah, Pause is HIV positive. And Dylan says, you're right, it's not the place to be, but is it possible to find a place that is worth being? Yes. Yes, it is. My only other concern, says Oprazine, is Jane's wig. Other than that, it seems like a gay man's paradise. I mean, critiquing someone's wig is part of a gay man's paradise. Diane Keaton and Jane Fonda, Candice Bergen, Mary Steenburgen? That does sound really good. Oh, Bearlesque has run for 3 years now in London. Oh my God, that sounds great. Yay for that. That sounds amazing. What was I going to say about that? Yes, so Dylan's question. Is it possible to find a place that is worth being? Depends where you are. If you're in rural Kentucky, it's going to be hard. But if you're in a city or even like a town, yes, you can find good people, you can find friends, and you can find people that are going to be cool about who you are. I mean, I'm not going to say, like, it happens overnight. And part of what that involves is, being vulnerable and putting yourself out there and specifically saying, like, hey, I want to make new friends and you seem cool and I'd like to be friends with you. I mean, that sounds weird and awkward. And as an adult, it sounds like a strange thing to say, but also, it's never going to happen unless you tell people you want to be friends with them. So tell people you want to be friends with them, and then actually be a good friend. So telling someone I would like to be friends is step one. Step two, be a good friend. That means listening and doing things that they like, and not like letting your personality evaporate just to, because you want to hang out with somebody, but acknowledge what people like. If you like being around them, let them know, and be generous. It's not complicated. It's difficult, but not complicated. Upperzine says, my first tech job... first tech job there. Where was your first tech job? My first tech job was a place next door that sold a cheap Big Gulp 64-ounce soda, and everyone would get that massive drink in the afternoon. So it was that one program set near the door, and every time someone came in with the giant soda, he would yell, "That is a showgirl-sized Coke." That is really good. It is such a good movie. I have a video about Showgirls. If you like Showgirls and you like watching me talk, you can find on my YouTube channel a video I did a while back about why gay men love Crystal Connors. And why it was why gay men love Nomi, of course, Nomi Malone. Oh God, it's such a weird movie. But also, absolutely delightful. You guys, here's my question for you. What should I do for my culture cruise this month? It is a busy month. I don't have a lot of time. I was going to do a comparison of Tu Wong Fu and Priscilla, but I think that's going to be a fuck ton of work, so I need to do something a little more manageable for this month. What queer episode of television should I talk about, or gay movie should I talk about? I've got a long list, but I would like to hear your suggestions. It was suggested to me that I do an episode about Garrick and Bashir. But, I mean, for one thing, I did a Deep Space Nine episode last month. And also, like, Garrick and Bashir's subtext is so subtextual that I'd have to go, like, searching through multiple seasons to find, like, evidence. And it's really a stretch to find Garrick and Bashir being flirty with each other. Oh, a slate and stylus is a tool for writing Braille. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. I love that. So the slate and stylus become weapons for the character. That's fantastic. John Matthews says, if you like big pecs, you might as well go for women. I mean, spoiler alert, there's more to women than just pecs. Nom nom nom. Oh, sorry. I'm just like shoveling these peanut butter nom-noms in my mouth. Pasha says, you don't have to search. You just have to tag the right people on Twitter. Oh, and they'll give you the time codes for the clips you need on Gashir. Garashir. Matthew Bark says, the first thing I look at are a man's pecs. I want a chest I can fall asleep on. That does sound nice. Yeah, that is nice. What was I saying? There's something I was looking back up through the chat. Oh yeah, so I want to know more about like this book club movie. Oh dear, I've got a hole in my knee and I'm pulling like threads out of it. I had to patch up these jeans. Ow! I had to patch up these jeans because they're falling apart, but I love them. They're so soft. Soft jeans. So I patched them up with a towel, which would also be soft. So I've got like terry cloth patches in the knees of these pants. But it's slowly unraveling. Oh, well. So, like, I'll just keep pulling it and pulling it and pulling it, and then I'll be pantsless by the end of the stream. Oh, pecs are important, says Oprazine, though I'm foremost. Oh, no, it's another ad for Quiet Place. Why does YouTube know that we were talking about that? That's so weird. Pecs are extremely important, says Oprazine, though I'm foremost a like man. All right. Dylan has to go. Goodbye, Dylan. Thanks for joining. Bumble says you should market them as sensory pants. That's not a bad idea. I kind of like that idea. Yeah, sure. They're sensory pants. I mean, I'm very fussy about my clothes being not having seams in certain places and being soft in a particular way. So it's very important to me that whatever I wear not have seams right at the wrists. So I can't wear gloves that have like that end right at the wrist. I really hate that. But yeah, these are nice, soft, sensory, cozy jeans. It's taken like I don't know how long I've had these. At least 6 or 7 years. Takes a long time to break some pants in, but I've done it. And I'm not getting rid of them. Is the movie The Wedding Banquet interesting to use? Ooh, The Wedding Banquet. Yeah, that's a good idea. I haven't seen that. The star next to that. The Wedding Banquet. That might be a good one to do. It's been a long time since I had a conversation about it. I don't think... Have I seen The Wedding Banquet? That's the Ang Lee film. Ooh, and Matthew Park suggests Jeffrey. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, to talk about like how much has changed now with PrEP and manageable HIV. That's... Jeffrey's a maybe. Yeah, Jeffrey I could maybe do. With Jean-Luc Picard, naturally. And John Matthews wants inflated PDFs, pecs, auto-corrected pecs to PDFs. I want inflated PDFs, too. Huge PDFs. Pecs are better than PDFs because they're easy to edit. Yes, sure. Yeah, it's been a long time. So Jeffrey I've seen, but not since it came out. So forever. Boys in the Band. Oh, maybe do Boys in the Band since there's a big Broadway revival. Huh. Maybe, yeah, it is time. Like... It's been forever since I actually watched. I think the entire thing is on YouTube in chunks. Impossible to get tickets. Oh boy, did you see that like terrible... There's an op-ed by like, I think it was Frank Bruni about like, oh, the death of queer culture. Not even queer culture, the death of gay culture. It was just, it was awful. Awful. Let's talk about that because I have a lot of thoughts about it. Frank Bruni, Boys in the Band. So this was posted. Yeah. Okay. Jesus. So the headline is the extinction. You can't see it at all. The extinction of gay identity. Matthew Park says Jeffrey was the first gay film that I saw at our art house theater called the Drexel. Oh, that's nice. I think for me it was Gods and Monsters was, I think, the first gay movie I saw in a theater. But yeah, Jeffrey, it was around the same time, right? Like 96, 97 or so. And that was very much like just after the cocktails. So just at the turning point in HIV. Direct quote, John Matthews says, a direct quote from Boys in the Band. People do not realize that however much they hate us, they will never hate us as much as we hate ourselves. Ugh. It's harsh. It's harsh and so true. Okay, so... Here's this op-ed about the extinction of gay identity, which I'm rolling my eyes at this, and we're going to talk about it. Yeah, and Pasha, aren't there articles about the end of gay separateness like every few years? Yes, there super are. Katra says the character has a slightly overprotective boyfriend who has the bright idea to keep monsters away by capturing a demon and keeping it in a locket around his neck. Naturally, it backfires and tries to kill them both. Oh, that sounds really good. Ah, that's so good. Oh, Oprazine says, Terry Cloth Patches is a good drag name. Terry Cloth Patches. That's me. It's kind of a clown. Okay, so this op-ed begins. Mark Crowley, the author of the groundbreaking gay play, The Boys in the Band, lives in a Manhattan apartment building that he used to visit frequently for parties in the 1960s when Boys had its theatrical debut. It's on East 54th Street, number 405, and its nickname, he told me, used to be 405 because that was supposedly the ratio of gay residents. Okay, so far so good. I like that. Great. That's very cute. I like 405 as the name for an apartment building because 4 out of 5 people are gay. That's swell. That is not the ratio now. It's all yuppies and kids in strollers and all of that, and a few old codgers, Crowley, 82, said over a recent lunch. The gays have scattered, not just from that building, but from others, and we've distributed ourselves throughout the city and throughout society. Gay sanctuaries are vanishing. So we need to stop right there. So, yes, it's all strollers and yuppies Yuppies and kids in strollers and all of that. So for one thing, people can be yuppies. Gay people can have kids in strollers. So I get what he's saying, but, you know, watch your words. Also, gay people can be friends with yuppies and kids in strollers. Also, are yuppies still even a thing? Yuppies? Really? Like, yuppies were a thing 30 years ago? Anyway, so next, this assertion of the gays are scattered not just from that building, from others. We distribute ourselves around the city. To say that gay people have scattered from other gay people, like go to a bar on Drag Race night, it's just not true. Go to my Twitter timeline. Gay people still hang out with gay people. Don't worry. Gay sanctuaries are vanishing. Well, on one hand, yes, but on the other hand, we don't need them. It's like saying, whatever happened to leper colonies? Like, we don't need to gather for safety anymore. We gather for fun, which we still do. Gay sanctuaries might be going away, but I don't know, gay amusement parks are now, like not literally, but or maybe they are. But gay people hang out because they like to now, not because if they don't, they'll be eaten and killed. Matthew says, I think I'm being cruised by a guy 25 years old while sitting here in the Panera. Okay, give him the eyes. Matthew Park, let us know how it's going. That's exciting. Give him a little wink. And get some mints so that he doesn't taste that horseradish on you. Oh, that's very thrilling, Matthew Park. Give us some updates on how that's going. Is it true? So this is back to the op-ed. Is it true that gay culture and... let's start that over. Is that true of gay culture and gay identity too? Here's the rule. Whenever a newspaper article poses a question in the headline or in the deck, which is kind of a subheadline, the answer is always no. So, is that true of gay culture and gay identity too? Well, here's 1,500 words that could be summed up with no. I mean, no. Gay culture is not vanishing. Gay identity is not vanishing. Here's what's vanishing. So saying what gay culture used to mean, sure, it's changing, not vanishing. Because for one thing, we wrote it down. We made movies about it. So you can watch Jeffrey. You can read Boys in the Band. You can read How Long Has This Been Going On? The records exist. It's not vanishing. The eraser is not wiping us out. Is gay culture... Is current... there's so many things I want to say about this. Current culture is queering. It's not necessarily gay anymore. It's queer, which means more people can get into it. It's also, I know this is horrifying to some people, allows straight people. And, oh no, bachelorettes at gay bars, what do we do? But, like, hanging out and being cool with their straight friends, like, for that to be a thing, I think that's wonderful. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. Evan Otis recommends a documentary Making the Boys, about the boys in the band. Also interesting. I have not seen that. Where is it on, like, is it on a streaming service someplace? Operazine says, I'm often asked about what happened to camp because camp is very closely associated with opera. What I say is that camp is a function of the closet. Yeah, partially, yes. I think you understand why I have a lot of thoughts and things to say about that. But yes, generally I agree. And is that the closet withers away, the need for insider humor like camp is also less pronounced. By the way, I think this young pup is participating in some study group in the community room. Oh, wait, there's a community room at the Panera? Study group in the community room at the Panera. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, so I think there's an element of that is true, but not entirely. Like, I don't think that's a rule for camp. I don't think camp is necessarily a function of the closet. I need to think about this more, but I think you can have a sarcastic send-up of mainstream culture without the closet, but it is different. The character has some peripheral vision, but he uses blindness techniques, and the boyfriend loses his eyes along the way. Oh, fascinating. So he has to learn how to interact with the world from his boyfriend. What kind of blindness techniques? Okay, so back to this. Is gay identity going away? Honestly, there's an element of me that says good riddance to gay identity, like as something that there are things that gay identity used to be associated with that I think like go away. Like, yeah, good. Go, like, let that be gone. Like gay misogyny, if that goes away, great. If like gay men being like, ew, gross vaginas goes away, great. John says, does the word naff exist in USA? Not really. I mean, like, people who know about England know what it means, but it's certainly not something you would say unless you were trying to be specifically British. Okay. This is Frank Bruni talking again. I increasingly get the sense that gayness itself has scattered, becoming something more various and harder to define. Yeah, it's getting better. Gay tells you about a person's lusts and loves. Does it? Gay tells you about a person's lusts and loves, but it used to tell you more about his boldness, irreverence, independence. It connoted a particular journey and pronounced struggle, and its own soundtrack, sartorial flourishes, and short list of celebrity icons. Not so anymore. Absolutely not true. I completely reject that. I think this is a romanticizing and a false memory that saying like, when someone said they were gay, you knew all about them because all gay people were the same. What are you talking about? There were all different kinds of gay groups there and have been all different kinds of gay groups since forever. So, like, I think I know what he's saying. He's saying that, like, when you say you're gay, that means that you go to a specific bar and you tip drag queens and we've all had the same coming out story. And that's just not true. Everyone's had different stories since forever. Like, I like... What this is nostalgia. He's looking back into the past and feeling nostalgic for something that didn't really exist, but he's convinced himself that it did. Ivan says the gay identity is changing, as in more diversity, POC platforms, activities, media. Yes, absolutely. Saying that you were gay for a long time meant that you were a certain kind of white, cis, gay man. And it doesn't mean that anymore. Good. Catra says that the techniques are Braille, cane, not using vision, the whole 9 yards. He has to teach his boyfriend how to fight monsters partway through the trip. That sounds so good. I'm really into this story. I would love to read this when you're ready to show it. Yeah. Oh, NAF comes from describing straights as not available for F. Oh, fascinating. I didn't know that. Yeah, a short list of celebrity icons. Again, talking about like, you know, oh, it used to be that all gay men loved Judy Garland. No, they didn't. That might have been a stereotype. That might have been true in your group. But gay men have liked all different kinds of things forever. And there might have been a lot of gay men who liked Judy Garland who thought that they had to because that's just what all the gay men around him did. And now they don't have to pretend to like Judy Garland anymore. That's good. Abrazine says, the thing that used to be called gay culture was stuff gays did all the time because otherwise they had no lives, no relationships, not many friends, not very glamorous jobs. Yeah. Oh, and the Making the Boys is on Canopy.com. Okay. I'm going to make myself a little note. Making the Boys. Making the Boys on Canopy.com. Okay. Okay, back to Frank. These thoughts came to mind as Boys comes back into view. For its 50th anniversary, it's getting a first-ever Broadway production with an all-gay, all-star cast, including Jim Parsons, Matt Bomer, and Zachary Quinto. Previews begin Monday. The show opens May 31st. I'll be fascinated to see what audiences make of this campy, catty portrait of a group of gay men who talk in code, traffic in secrecy, and have carved out something separate that is not exactly peace. Again, I have a lot of thoughts here. Among them, watch how you use the word catty. Because as I was saying, like, there's a lot of misogyny in gay community, and it's a word that I've used and been corrected on, and I get how that word makes people feel bad. Abrazine says, things like MST3K are 100% camp, even though they're very much straight guy stuff. Okay, but here's the thing, like, what does that mean? Because, like, gay people like Mystery Science Theater, so what makes it straight guy stuff? Especially, like, you know, with, like, Mary Jo Pell, for example, I think is, like, a gay man's dream, when it comes to, like, women to look up to. So, you know, there's like kind of a mini gay icon on the show. So what makes MST3K straight guy stuff? Just they don't talk about gay sex? Ketra says, I know all gay men drink water. Wait, what, is that a thing? Gays haven't been having knockdown dragon fights over Queen since Helen of Troy and Heretic. Aubergine says, right now there's a Twitch stream of riff tracks and humor is almost 100% camp in the sense of seeing absurdity in things originally intended to be serious. Yes, exactly. Ooh, that's another thing. That term gold star gays, like, it's an accomplishment to have avoided women. Like, I think there's a lot of misogyny in that of, on gold star gays. I think there's, like, I don't love that it's like, oh, you've avoided women. Good for you. Here's a prize. Because, like, that kind of sucks to talk about women that way. Even in the 70s, boys in the band and Mark Crowley's views were seen as dated. GLF campaigned heavily against it, says Tomer. Frank says, the play is a postcard from an era that we have thankfully moved past, a point of reference for our hard-won success over the last half-century and our arrival in an infinitely better place. But it's also a reminder of a glue that has gone missing among many gay men. Okay. Among many, what is that? Like, he never says exactly what that glue is. Is it self-loathing? Because, again, good. Among many lesbians, too, though for them, the lingo is different. Oh, I mean, I guess he's talking about, like, the secret, okay, the code, the secrecy, carving something out. Like, why do you want your link to be trauma when it doesn't have to be? Like, yeah, that was a thing that a lot of gays had in common for a long time. Still do. Pain. We still have a lot in common beyond that. We have more in common beyond that than we ever did before. So why linger in that pain? Why preserve that? Why be nostalgic for pain? I think Bruni has a very reductive sense of boys in the band, says Operazine. Oh, yes. Can you tell I agree? Oh, gosh. Pasha says, I've been told I wasn't a gold star gay because I've been with trans men, so there's a lot of homophobic BS in it. That is transphobic BS, to say the least. Matthew says, I've had sex with 3 different women who I honestly had feelings for, but also had to deal with the guilt of knowing that I was lying to them and worse myself. Yeah, like, I just don't like that. A gay man is a gay man regardless of star status. I just don't like being, like, gold star, like congratulations? Especially when it's like, congratulations on avoiding trans men? Like, that sucks. I think what I don't like about Gold Star is that it's a way of defining yourself by people you have separated yourself from. And that doesn't feel like something to be proud of to me. Tomer says, I wrote a paper last month on Boys in the Band compared to a very natural thing. Oh, well, there you go. Good timing on that. So he says, among many lesbians, too, though for them the lingo was different, as were the wardrobe, songs, and patron saints. We were tribes in a way that we no longer are, with rituals that we no longer have, and with a shared story. Again, nostalgia for something that never existed. Yeah, the groups are different. The rituals are different. I'm not gonna use the word tribes, but yeah, the groups are different. The behavior is different. But like, that's how time works. You know, the hairstyles are different. The shoes are more comfortable. Like, yeah, what's your point? Things changed. My skin isn't as firm as it once was. I mean, this is basically just a giant op-ed about, like, I got old. Pasha says, also, I'm not a fucking Sneetch on a beach from Dr. Seuss book. I don't need a star. I think it's weird to value having one. Crow says, I roll my eyes when someone says they're platinum star gays because they were C-section babies, so they never touched a vagina. Ooh, yeah. Aubergine, do you want me to tell you what Bruni is actually saying? Yes. Yes. I used to be young and now I'm old. That is all Bruni is saying. I 100% agree with that. What's that story now? And what qualifies as a gay play if such a thing still exists? Like, Jesus. What's that story? First of all, that story never existed. There was never that story. There was never the one story of the gay existence. So stop pretending that there was. What is the story? What is the gay story now? It's better, is what it is. Like, it's not some mystery. The story is parents who support their kids. I mean, Love, Simon is what that story is. You know, it's not like... It's crazy to me that he's like, does such a thing even exist? Yeah, it was just a big hit in movie theaters like 2 weeks ago. Anyway, Jesse Green, one of the Times theater critics, wrestled elegantly with that question in T Magazine in February, noting that for him, gay theatrical canon, or rather the gay male theatrical canon, ends in 1993. I mean, I have to ask, like, what was going on? I don't know Jesse Green. I don't know how old he is. I don't know what his deal is. The gay male theatrical canon ends in 1993 with Tony Kushner's Angels in America. If I had to guess, I would have to guess that Jesse Green's gay experience reached its apex in 1993. Maybe not. Maybe he was not even born then. I don't know how old he is. But to say that gay male theatrical canon ends in 1993 with Tony Kushner's Angels in America, which followed Normal Heart and Torch Song trilogy and decades earlier Boys, like that's it? No more gay plays? Okay. All were born of a bigotry that gays endured and of the grace that they forged in the face of it. The plays since, according to Green, are grayer and more tasteful. Okay, so, like, I'm not a theater expert, but, like, I like, and I'd hesitate to call Book of Mormon a gay play, but it's a play with, like, a lot of gay context. And if you're going to call Book of Mormon gray and tasteful, like, I don't even know how to have a conversation with you. So this guy, Frank Green, Jesse Green, wrote, sometimes to judge what's on stage, I have to conclude that Crate and Barrel is sponsoring the new gay agenda, adding that he no longer hears a gay voice, which he defines as quick-witted, protean, emotional. I think what he's describing there is Scott Thompson doing Buddy on Kids in the Hall. And, like, I don't know, like, I don't live in New York. I don't go to plays, really. Like, very seldom do I go to live theater. So I don't know what he's exposed to. But honestly, I don't have a response to that because I don't have the knowledge. But judging from what I see when I go to queer events, like, that is still totally a thing. I'm guessing Jesse Green's about mid-40s. Yeah, okay. So he was 23-ish in when like he was in his early 20s when Angels in America happened. So yeah, of course he's got rosy eyes, rosy glasses for that. It's when he was having the best sex, I'm gonna guess. Not every gay is a sassy black woman. Yeah, Krylo, that is a good point. I mean, that's what he's talking about. He's like, what happened to the inner sassy black woman of the gay community? Spoiler alert, gay men were never sassy black women. Sassy black women were sassy black women. The voice rings loud and clear in Boys, which debuted in 1968 and went on to become a movie in 1970. Captures the flair from Captures the flair from melodrama, appetite for mischief, and exaggerated sense of humor, alternately self-lacerating and self-lionizing, that constituted a gay armor worn because we lived in a sort of exile. I'd done it myself in the 1980s from my late teens through the mid-20s, and I took the temperature of the country around me, wondering exactly how cold to me it would be. Now, there is a good point here. I'm trying to think of... There's a particular style of gay media and storytelling that is like, I think you know what I mean when I say Scott Thompson, like quick-witted, snappy, acerbic, in control of the situation, sassy. Like that Boys in the Band, witty banter. I guess Gilmore Girls is an example of the kind of style that I'm talking about, although that's not queer. That I don't 100% know if I see in a lot of stuff. Like, I'm trying to think of more recent examples of that, like, sassy gay wordplay, and I'm having trouble coming up with something contemporary. Maybe I'm wrong about that. What I can come up with is a lot of bad gay movies made over the last 30 years that are really sensitive and earnest and heartfelt and not campy and not that at all. And I miss that. I like that. Okay. Tomer says, I say Justin Sayre is the best recent example. Okay. And Matthew Park has to go. Time for me to pick up friends for a meeting. Great, get this 25-year-old's number. Good luck, Matthew Park. Let us know how it goes. We're looking forward to next chat, by the way, 2 weeks from today. It's going to be, I don't have the date right in front of me, but let me just look it up. The next little chat that we're doing is on the 19th. So I'll see you back on the 19th. And maybe you'll have that 25-year-old with you. Tomer says, I'd say Justin Sayre is the best recent example. Yes. 100% yes, exactly. That is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. And honestly, I go to drag shows and I see drag queens doing that all the time live. So I can't believe that it's just like dried up, that gay people aren't witty anymore because it's not the 90s and Jesse Green isn't having the best sex of his life. So anyway, a long thing about how the 90s was rough. Yeah. Okay, there's been enough progress toward the acceptance and integration of gays by 2005 that Andrew Sullivan, which just like, oh my god, this is when I should be clicking close tab, wrote an essay in the New Republic titled The End of Gay Culture. Oh my god. My eyes just rolled around in my head so far I can see the inside of my brain. In which he imagined would expand into such a diverse set of subcultures that gayness alone will cease to tell you very much about any individual. We're there. Yeah. Great. I mean, first of all, gayness did not tell you that much about the individual at any time. It just didn't. It told you something about who hated them, and that's kind of it. But like, there were a million different gay experiences, a million different kinds of ways to be gay, and I don't think that's changed much at all. The only difference now is that we don't have to hide it. So the subcultures, I guess maybe the subcultures that Andrew Sullivan was never aware of because he was a wealthy cis white man, now he can see them and he's like, oh, it's so diverse, it's so separate, we're all so scattered. I mean, I have to guess that what he's actually seeing is people that he could ignore easily in the past are easier to see. Operazine says, the sassy gay wordplay is a showing off of a quality gay men value, intelligence, and wit. Back in the day, gay guys didn't have a ton of money or family connections or a trophy spouse, so what you could show off was how sharp your mind was. Yeah, David Rakoff stuff. Even back in the day, a great body was not a big deal. And Katra has to go, family dinner. Okay, thank you for joining, Katra. Hope to see you in 2 weeks. Hope all your tests go well, and I hope you're able to work on that story because it sounds amazing. And I hope your fingers feel better. Okay, back to this op-ed. Gays aren't yet on an equal legal footing with straight people. We're frequently derided and assaulted. How gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender people are treated hinges on where we live, what color we are, how much money we have, and whom we work for. As a gay white man employed by a progressive-minded company in New York City, I'm ridiculously lucky. I'm aware that too much of the past conversation art about gayness was focused on and dominated by people like me. Well, I mean, good for him for acknowledging that. And I'm glad to witness the spread of a more diverse vocabulary that pays important heed to distinctions between us. I mean, it's like he's aware of it and not. That there were other queer cultures, including black people, for example, that just were ignored. But he's pretending like it's new, and it's not. What's new is that we can talk about them. Like, you know, Paris is Burning is no longer the novelty. I mean, it's something very special, but it's not like novel, like, oh, wow, look at what these people are doing. It's like, oh, okay, look what these people are doing. It's great. Not like, who knew? John says, what about Matt Riddlehoover? I am not familiar with him. Who is that? Then there's a bit of a jump here, and he says, while LGBT spells out those differences, it also mashes everything together in a manner that deprives some of the consonants of their particular history and legacy. How? Like, I am, like, angered by that. What do you mean it deprives them of their history and legacy? Like, that... like actually makes me angry. That like putting lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender together. Oh god, it's giving me an advertisement for stickers now. Okay, and we're back. That like because you're putting them together now, suddenly you can't talk about their history anymore. What are you even talking about? It deprives the constants of their history and legacy. So does the catch-all queer. Bonnie Morris, a women's studies professor who wrote the 2016 book The Disappearing L, Erasure of Lesbian Space and Culture, pointed out that the designation lesbian is viewed by many queers as too restrictive. There have been a lot of attacks on lesbians as vagina fetishists, she said. Adding queer includes everybody, she told me, but it sure doesn't specify where you're coming from, what your experience is. Yeah, like, and? Again, like, queer is a word that includes a lot of people. It doesn't erase their legacy. I mean, it doesn't erase what they've done. Like, calling a lesbian queer doesn't mean she's not a lesbian. Oh, yeah, and there are certain middle-aged gays who really resent being classed with bi or trans people, says Oprazine. In fact, the article goes on to say, Morris, who is 56, came out in 1980. Lesbian had discrete, distinctive associations, and it mapped out physical territory that is increasingly difficult to find. I don't want to tell lesbians their business, so I'm not going to speak to that. Bars are disappearing, she said. Bookstores are disappearing. Women's centers are disappearing. And that's all true. And again, like, things are getting better. Not perfect. Things are getting better for women. Things are getting better for lesbians. Things are getting better for queer people in general. Like, you don't need the sanctuaries, but you know what? Here's what's not going away. Women aren't going away. Lesbians aren't going away. Lesbians are still hanging out with each other. Does this writer have a problem with the gay community growing and evolving? Yep. No, what this writer has a problem with is, like, his, receding hairline and sagging skin. He's upset that he's old. That's all it is. What this comes down to is people who are perceiving a loss of privilege, says Oprazine. You're 100% correct. I'm 53. I came out a few years later than she did, and I remember that simply telling someone that I was gay made me interesting at a time when gay people weren't forthcoming about that. I mean, there you go. That sums it up. Sorry that now you have to do something interesting to be interesting. Like, that, like, the accident of your queerness is not the most interesting thing about you, is not interesting enough to make you interesting anymore. If I want to choose my words carefully here. If telling people that you were gay is the most interesting thing about you, then you were never that interesting, or frankly that gay to begin with. I remember that visiting a gay bar or resort had an electric charge because I was traversing forbidden ground. No matter how open I felt about it, being gay felt like belonging to a secret society. Yeah, remember why? Is because if you, like, walked out the door and someone saw you, you get beat up. It sucked, says Pasha Washa. Do you know how awful it was to be interesting for being the gay kid in my school? It sucked. What nonsense. I just hate everything about this toxic op-ed. We didn't want to be consigned to the margins, forced into hiding. For our safety and survival, we couldn't afford to be. So we fought for the visibility that we cherish today. Along the way, the clubhouse was shuttered, the special knock was abandoned, and a certain spirit went away. Yeah, again, good. How do you want people to react to that? I mean, it's like saying, like, the leper colonies have been closed. Good. Everything costs something, Crowley told me. Gay culture is so diffuse now where once it was so cloistered and clandestine. It was like our own world. The world was inside out. I wouldn't trade any of the progress, I said to him. And yet, he agreed. But he added with no equivocation, you wouldn't want that world back. Boys in the Band makes that clear while also making sure that a lost world is remembered. I mean, what a nothing op-ed. Pasha says, even people who weren't beating me up, that was all they wanted to know about me, and it made me exciting, like being a damn peacock in their menagerie. What the hell? Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. And John Matthews says, a human rights campaign reported gay acceptance reducing in the USA. Yes, by a small amount, but still, yes, exactly. So, like, I guess Frank Bruni's going to get his wish to get that secret handshake back. And boy, oh boy, isn't he going to be shocked when it turns out, like, you know, if acceptance of gay people diminishes to the point that it's like the 1970s again, suddenly it's not as exciting as he thought it would be. And he's still not having the sex that he thought he would have. Nostalgia for a lost world equals privilege. Yep. Anyway, so that's all to say that I feel very fortunate and I really cherish how weird and transgressive and naughty and gay my life is. I'm going to a fetish night tonight. I went to a not even clothing optional. I went to a naked show on Thursday that celebrated diverse gay bodies. I'm going to be recording tomorrow. I'm recording a podcast where drag queens play D&D. I'm going to a convention for drag. I'm going to the world's largest leather convention at the end of the month. like naughty fun gay life is still a thing. It still exists. Gay people still hang out. They just do it better now. And sorry this guy feels that they're doing it without him, but it doesn't have to be that way. He's welcome to join. It's just there's a lot more people having a good time now. Yeah, opera scene. Things were so much better when the Tsar was still in charge. Yeah. So anyway, with that having been said, there's a lot of great gay stuff going on. It's better than ever. I do miss the witty intelligence that was highlighted more, I think, in the past. And I would like to seek out more of that stuff because I like it and I kind of miss it. The Justin Sayre style. Yeah, and Bill Fair and like that stuff I miss. Count Fosco Likes Mice says, maybe cliche, but the film Cabaret made me sit up straight. There's a lot going on for a 12-year-old. I think that's a good example. Like, you could do a very queer version of Cabaret. The opening title of Gone with the Wind is... Wait, what? Is what? What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Anyway, so lots of gay stuff going on. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that nostalgia. There's a land of cavaliers and cotton fields called the Old South. Here in this pretty world, gallantry took its last bow. Yeah, there were some bad things here. Here was the last ever to be seen of the knights and their ladies fair, of master and slave. Ugh. Look for it only in books, for it is no more than a dream remembered, a civilization gone with the wind. Yeah, bye. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, Old South. And now let us enjoy something better. Like Fetish Night tonight, I'm very excited about. And all these movies that you guys have recommended to me. There's a lot to like now that more people than ever can like. So great. So I'm going to be posting pictures from Fetish Night. Of course, as always, I'm going to be heading to DragCon to do some D&D at DragCon. So if you guys are in LA, I hope you'll join me for that. I'm going to be going to Chicago for some D&D in Chicago on the 23rd. So go get tickets for that. You can go to dungeondrag.com for all the details. Let me think. Yeah, so I hope you join us in 2 weeks for our next live stream. But I'm going to be hobbling on off. We've been going for about 2 hours, and it's time for me. I've got to edit some audio, actually. I'm going to be editing episode 0 of our podcast. So hooray. I'm so sad your D&D panel DragCon is going on while I work. Oh no, what a bummer. I'm definitely I'm working on getting it recorded and filmed so it can go up online. So hopefully that'll be happening soon. So hopefully you'll be able to see that. But yeah, so DragCon's coming up. IML is coming up in Chicago. We're going to be doing a D&D show there. And then keep your eyes peeled for our next show in Seattle on June 21st during Pride. And in San Francisco on in the middle of July, I think it's the 13th and 14th, we're doing shows in San Francisco. Phew! Okay, so that's that. Head over to dungeondrag.com. Make sure you're on the mailing list because we have got some big announcements coming up in the next couple days. You're going to be so excited. Get on that Dungeon Drag mailing list. Dungeondrag.com mailing list. And that's that, I think. I'm going to have to call it quits. James may be streaming later tonight. He's been doing a lot of God of War. So hopefully you'll see James in a little while. And I'll see you in the funny papers. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. It is such a pleasure to chat with you and to spend these Saturday afternoons talking about whatevs. It's a real delight. So I will see you again very soon. Good night, one and all. Farewell.